Hey everyone, you're watching Ash on Comics. My name is Ash, and there's blood in the water surrounding heroes in crisis. What do I mean by that? Well, DC Comics face backlash over Batman's depiction in Heroes of Crisis number 4. Oh, the SJWs are at it again. Just never happy. Complain. Everything's wrong. Of course, when comic fans are upset about things in comics for, legitimate reasons, like you effed up the comics, you turned it into propaganda, you put crappy art on it, you bastardized the characters, we're bigots and Nazis, and they label us Comicsgate. When they do it, it's higher calling. It's oh my goodness. So this is Crisis number 4, in case you didn't guess. I'm Ash. And I got these variant covers. I don't even know what the regular cover looks like. Didn't even pay attention, but I just really like what they're doing here with the case file and showing some moment in the character's history where they faced a crisis. And this is where Aquaman loses his hand. I want to find the story because I don't know the story. So on with the show. Clayman is back. Yes. I'm excited. I discovered Clayman through this series. I didn't know his artwork before. And I'm a fan. I'm going to look for him in the future. This book is a mixed bag. It doesn't utilize his art like the first issue did. It's meh. I mean, it's pretty. It's good. You'll see. It's just kind of stilted and wooden. Here we open up with I don't even know who this character is, and it's Tempest apparently. I say this. I beat like this dead horse all the time. One thing I don't like about DC is their not just use of legacy characters, but doubling, tripling, quadrupling, quintupling down on legacy characters. They just can't get enough of recreating their, I give Marvel flack because, they have 6 or 7 Wolverines right now, or what? But I was like, that's just old hat for DC. They're just like, what? Only 6 Wolverines? We would have had 12 by now. You're like, what are you talking about, Ash? It's like, well, here we got an Aquaman character. They do this thing. It's like, so Justice League is their Avengers. Then we have Titans, which is their younger, used to be Teen Titans, which is their younger group, but yet every character in that group is essentially a Justice League legacy character. I mean, you got a Batman person, you got an Aquaman person, you got a Wonder Woman person. You're just like, why? Why can't you make new characters? Why does everyone have to be the same 7 character types? It's like, come on. I'm glad, when this series started off and they killed Arsenal, I was like, good. I don't like Green Arrow. I think he's dumb. And I know I'm going to get flack from DC fans. I'm sorry, I just don't like bow characters. When I'm reading a comic book of superheroes doing super things and shooting lasers out of their eyes and surfing through the galaxy with the power cosmic, or having indestructible endoskeletons with adamantium claws that can cut through anything, and a healing factor that can keep them alive, and with incredible sense of intuition, a character shooting a bow, an arrow. Like, what? Get a gun. It's one of these romanticized things that's left over from the middle of last century where we could get away with stuff like that. But in today's day and age, come on, I'm sorry, bow and arrow characters. Now I will say though, Green Arrow in Dark Knight Returns, that was a badass Green Arrow, shooting one-handed with his teeth. But okay. I just think I just don't like bow characters. So if you're a Green Arrow fan, I'm not knocking you. I mean, I'm sure the character might be fun to read. And I have actually considered watching the TV show. I just don't like it for the greater scheme of. Anyways, so don't like bow characters. I don't want Arsenal. I know there's more Green Arrow characters too, but I can't think of them. I don't know them all. But DC does this. It's like I don't need a ton of Batman ripoffs, right? We got Batman, and funny as it is, like Damian as Robin is the only Robin I've really ever accepted. And I hated Damian at first. I was just the very idea. I was like, oh God, they gave Batman a kid. Like, what's going on? But some of the stuff has really grown on me, and part of that is Tomasi's run, Super Sons. So I've liked that, and I've like, well, if there's gonna be a Robin, it makes sense. It's like Batman's kid. But Batman putting all these like little teenagers in tights, it always creeped me out, and it just seemed weird. It just rubs me the wrong way. And then now you get these characters growing up, and it's just like, oh look, they're just Batman wannabes, and it's like we already got Batman. So, Ash, it's 6 minutes into the thing, and you haven't even got past page yet because I ramble on these things. So, Heroes in Crisis. Here we got another Aqua Blad person, and he's drunk, and he's in crisis. And this book is beginning to go off the rails. Now, I really liked the first issue. It's one of the best comics I read last year. It was super well done. Great start. Issues 2 and 3 were kind of, by comparison, they were kind of okay. I think, if I remember right, 2 I was not too pleased with, but then 3 kind of came up a little bit. And then 4, I think this is the worst issue I've read so far. Now, it's a 9-issue series, so I'm gonna stick with it. There are good aspects to the book. I mean, Clayman's art's fantastic, even though it's not really well utilized. I do like Tom King's writing style. It's not like Bendis, but it shares a similar quality to Bendis in that it's very pleasing to read. He's got a very readable style that just comes off smooth. Bendis has a completely different style of writing, but it has that same quality where you can just read it and read it and read it. And it just, flow. Even though you realize, 5 issues in that, he didn't actually write anything. It's just a bunch of fluff. It sounded good while you were reading it. Tom King has that a similar aspect. I really liked this. So he set up this kind of, custom for these books where you get this little entry page of a character in crisis. Something's going on. Apparently this guy's just drunk. I don't know why. And then we get this big 2-page splash, which in the first issue I thought was utilized great. This one, I guess, not so bad. We just see this big graffiti, this wall that, has a big mural on it with graffiti over it, and then we get to see Donna carrying Tempest home. Oh, I'm sorry, was that Wonder Woman carrying Aquaman home? I can't tell. Look. Aquaman, Green Arrow, Batman, Flash, Wonder Woman. Oh, look, it's Justice League. No, it's not Justice League, but it's the same. I know there's a lot of old school DC fans that are just like, Ash, you're an idiot. You don't know shit. You're right, I don't know shit. I'm new to DC. And this is why I think I'm able to have a fresh opinion that I do and not get clogged up in, years and decades of fandom bias that doesn't allow me to see things clearly. Like the fans that want Connor Kent back, it's like, do you want 90s Michael Jackson Superboy back? Oh, come on. Anyways, so here's another tradition or custom of the book, is to do these 9-panel spreads. I'm just going to skip past that. And here we are back at the farm. 4 issues in, can't leave the farm. And they're doing some investigating. And this is kind of an interesting little scene here. You see Flash and Batman. And it's tough to do this review on this because it's got this stiff cover. So it doesn't really lay flat. I mean, I know I can like bend it flat, but comics, I still treat comics like collectibles. So I'm wary to do that. But anyways, so in the scene, which got a nice wide shot here, it's very, this is really beautiful illustration. From all we've gathered, the evidence is actually very clear. I think we've seen what we need to. We know who did this. We do. Booster. Harley. They stop, look at each other. Flash is like, shit. So they don't agree. And I thought this was interesting, right? You got the world's greatest detective, and I think, if I remember right, Barry Allen's a forensic scientist and analysis. So he's got his own crime scene detective abilities. Putting these two together and both coming up with different conclusions. So obviously it's not, the science isn't in, as they would say. But personally, if Batman says Harley, it should just be Harley. I'm trusting Batman. But if I am going to make a prediction, that very fact will mean this will be wrong. And then, of course, Tom King will have written Batman to totally just come to a conclusion that's wrong, which doesn't make sense. So here we see a lasso test being done. Again, start from the beginning. The alarm, you leave Sanctuary, and he's going through, Flash, Wally got hit by, she hit him. Who? Harley Quinn, obviously. And she's talking about Harley Quinn committed the murders, and you see blood dripping from this mallet. And what about your shield, Brainiac's shield, the one you took from the museum in the future? I don't know. Maybe it failed, or maybe she had something stronger. Maybe it saved me and then it quit, or all I know is when I woke up, it wasn't working anymore. And I woke up, and I was the only one who woke up. This is when you ran away? No, I didn't run. I flew. Okay. And then we get... Damn, girl. This is a pinup. Okay. This is something that modern comics... we don't see too much anymore in the SJW age. Also in the age of inferior artists that just aren't capable of rendering an illustration worthy of a pinup shot like this. And it fits the storyline here. So that's what I like. I guess you could say it's gratuitous, but it's not, because in the storyline, as we're going to see here, Lois and Clark are talking to each other. But she has this line that I thought just is so fitting with this. She's just looking at you, the reader, with these sultry eyes, and of course she's in a t-shirt and panties, and this is just something that is very appealing to guys in general, just this look. And of course the word balloon is, what do you want me to do? And it's just like, wow. And if you're going to be offended over sex in comics and, sexifying characters, this is going to offend you, I guess. It doesn't offend me, but I've got testosterone flowing through my blood. I suppose that's why. Oh, hey, look, speaking of objectifying people, we get a mostly naked Clark Kent showing off his utterly ripped body, his manly chin. I mean, this is... no offense, of course, will be here, because no matter how much you objectify a man, it's fine. It's only women really ever get objectified. But, she's saying, what do you want me to do? I don't know. Every day a new confession, blah, blah, blah. So what they're doing is they're talking about the tapes. So you get this out of context statement. You're like, well, going with the picture. And I just think it's funny. And I mean, really, you could pin this up. This could become a meme. But she's like, what do you want me to do about the piece that they're talking about? So, they're having a realistic discussion, and they're husband and wife, and there's nothing out of the ordinary really here. They're, they probably in real life they'd actually be nude. But Clark is like, I know. She's talking about it being the news. I mean, she's trying to argue why she should, publish the story or whatever. And, Clark obviously doesn't want to because it's the heroes. And she's like, but Clark, this is news. And he's like, I know. I just don't know. I'm having a little bit of problem with this. And you'll see as the book goes on. And here we get Batgirl. And this is the infamous portion that the SJWs are raging over. They're not raging over this. They're raging over this. And here's, which, by the way, just to give credit, this is Bounding Into Comics website. One of the few good comic websites I recommend you check out. So here it is. Same thing as on the page. I guess I'm just putting on the screen because this is what they show. And this is 9 panels of nothing. Apparently, she's being sexually objectified by the paneling and the position of her body. As we see, she just sitting down like a woman. She's crossing her legs. She decides to take off her belt because that would look really uncomfortable to sit with that thing. And then she stands up and pulls the spandex down to show a bullet wound in the stomach area, in the lower stomach area, and it's just, and then behind, she turns around to show the exit wound. And apparently this is just overly sexifying. Now, I will admit, Clay Mann draws beautiful looking women, and to a guy, like, if you're a woman and you don't understand this, let me explain. Men find women sexy. Men, being male, are, how do I say this? We're biologically driven to mate. Okay? Females, and I've never been a female, so I can only go with what I know secondhand. But my understanding is the female drive is more of a motherly drive. It's more of a nurturing drive. Their desire to procreate is to bear children and raise children. Men just want to spread their seed. And I believe because of that, that's why we see men much more aggressively approach sexuality than women. Women, of course, have the same feelings and are attracted to men and the male physique, but it's not quite in the same way. There are strip clubs, guys, with guys for women, and but women don't flock to them like the way men do. Men have this driving urge. This is why there's male hookers and female hookers, but most of the male hookers are for men. Even, it's men have this driving urge for sex and sexuality, and that's just the way it is. We can try to not talk about it and pretend that it doesn't exist and, deny reality, but I'm sorry. And comic books are a boys' medium. It's been that way for decades and decades. Since before all these people who are complaining were alive, before their parents were alive, comic books were doing sexy girl pinups. Because the target audience for these books are boys. Boys going through puberty, usually, preteens, early teens, maybe some late teens, and then as it became a collectability thing in the 80s and 90s, more adults got into it. Kids that grew up with it, like myself, stayed with it, and now it's more of an adult thing, but it's still there. And as the progressive movement has gotten into comics, they've obviously, they want to take everything away and say, no, you can't have this just for boys. It's got to be equally for women too. Which, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. Now, I am not saying this from the situation. I'm not trying to sound sexist. And I know that what I'm saying right now can easily come off as sexist. But my point is that I'm not trying to close the door to women. What I'm saying is this is a hobby. This is a medium that was designed around appealing to boys. Now, if you're a woman and you come in and you see these things, and there's been plenty of women in comics for a long time who've enjoyed comics and love comics, and you want to enjoy it too, more power to you. I have no problems. I don't want to keep you out. I'm not trying to close the door on you. I'm not trying to say you shouldn't be here, shouldn't love these books. But if you are a woman who looks on from the outside and says, "Oh, that's toxic masculinity, and it's just for boys and it's exclusionary, and we need to change it so that I can like it." No, we don't. No, we don't. We don't change Barbie so that it's appealing to boys. There's tons of things for girls that we just are happy we leave for girls, and that's it. Comics don't need to change. Now, if you want to start your own comic company or go do your own independent books and you want to appeal to girls, more power to you. I'm not going to stop you on that either. But the existing comics, the existing industry that was been around, appealing to, you don't need to come in and change that. You don't need to come in and take what's not yours and make it for you. Make your own thing. If you want to make girl comics, make girl comics. That's great. Anyways, way off on a tangent there. But this is, again, I just want to highlight, and this is a problem. This is problematic. Batgirl has a sexy butt. I know. She probably should have a big flabby butt. Should probably be concealed. She probably should be wearing, Muslim garb, covering her entire body so that we can't see any sexiness to her, because the male gaze is problematic. So, back to the book. We see Batwoman coming into some room. Apparently there's lots of mirrors. And it's like, "Hey, girl Bat." "Hey, Harley." And can I just say, I'm going to take this time right now, I do not like this new Batgirl costume. Sorry. I know it was designed by my boy, my favorite creator in comics right now, Sean Murphy, but no. The old costume, I know it wasn't a traditional skin-tight da-da-da-da-da, but that's why I liked it, right? I don't want to see all these It's bad enough that we have a Bat legacy character back. They don't need to have their costumes all look the same. And I liked that she had more of a practical design to her costume. I thought it looked good. And I thought some of the artists that were doing Batgirl made her look real cute, but also made her look like I would expect more of a Batgirl to look. This now is like, I'm Batwoman. I don't know. I don't like it. So, "Hey, Harley." Oh, hey. And then Harley's coming at her, and it's like she's doing the little nursery rhyme thing, and, 1, 2, gonna get you. And Batgirl's like, "I'm not here to 3, 4, hit the floor. I'm trying to 5, 6, how about kicks?" Kicks her under the chin. 7, 8, stand up straight. "Shit, Harley, listen. 9, 10, let's do it again. I'm trying to help you." And this is where Tom King starts derailing. Look at this scene here. First of all, it's just hands. I think sometimes Tom tries to be too artistic for his own good. It's pretentious. I'm going to put it that way. First of all, you got Clayman. I don't want this. So we get this dialogue, and it's like, because Harley's punching and she catches her fist. And it's like, how long has it been? How long is it going to be before Batman does what I did? Goes through the bunkers and haunts and finds you. And he's like, he'll judge you. Of course, because, men judge, but the women don't. He'll see you. He'll see the same way he sees me. Pitiful, broken, just another product of his failure to capture the stupid Joker. Another scared and scarred girl on his conscience. And he'll make assumptions about you, and what you can and can't do, and who you are, and what you did. I know how much you're hurting, I swear. And you can see the hands changing from blocking a punch to more caressing and holding. But I also know just that because you're hurting doesn't mean they don't know how good you are or could be. I found you first so I could help you first. We can figure it out together. Without people who think they know us, not knowing us. Record scratch. What? What the actual what? So you're telling me Batman doesn't know Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, daughter of Commissioner Gordon, doesn't know the world's greatest detective and probably one of the world's best psychologists at this point, doesn't know Harley Quinn, who's dealt with her more than anyone, doesn't know anything about her. This is one of the guys who actually set up this sanctuary to begin with and has people like Harley Quinn allowed to go and visit the sanctuary. You don't think he's going to judge her? Like, come on. This is dumb. And then it's like they're holding, and it's like, hey, Batgirl. Hey, Harley. How you doing? Hugs. Oh, my God. Gag me with a spoon here. Now, I'm being hyperbolic myself. And it's because I've read the whole issue. I'm actually okay with this. Harley is a disturbed woman, right? And if you're going to apply psychology and actually try to treat the disease, so to speak, this is not necessarily an unbelievable approach, right? To try to give some positive attention to Harley, to try to help her through this psychosis and that she has. She definitely needs help, right? And I get this. But there's more. Like, why I'm gagging is because there's more. So, we cut to a scene. Unfortunately, we're still seeming to have some disagreements. We've got Green Arrow, Black Canary. Good thing you got your bow. Whoever killed those superheroes will not be able to stand up against that. Solve them how? Or, sorry, solve them now, or you'll find them... I can't read through the camera. I hate that. So, we're still having some disagreements. Solve them now, or I'll find them both, blow their heads off, and let the afterlife's greatest detective figure it out. So, is she talking to Batman that way? Alright, Black Canary, girl with attitude. F this. Stands up, walks away. Easiest money Clayman ever made. Right here. Just cut and paste. Meanwhile, sorry, every time I see this, I think Super Friends. So, did you do it? I took the lasso test. I said I didn't do it. So you didn't do it. So here we got Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. You want to talk about character I don't know anything about, it's Blue Beetle. But I do like their bro relationship here. And I'm going to kind of skip through this. Basically, Blue Beetle is looking at his friend and being like, I'm here for you, bud. I got your back. And it's a really cool kind of a guy relationship. Tom King kind of gets this part, and I really like it. And Blue Beetle's like, I don't want to leave, whatever. Blue Beetle's like, as his ship, whatever, blow a hole into the side of the Hall of Justice. Okay, cool. And there's this line here, bros before heroes, and he's holding out his fist. Dude. bros before heroes. And I was like, that's kind of cool, a little unrealistic. And then we get Blue Beetle's shot. And this is one of the better ones because this actually relates to what we just saw. This explains Blue Beetle's thoughts and why he basically just did this. So I was like, oh, it's not just a bunch of excuse to have characters talk into the camera and give us some nonsense. This is relevant to the story. And then we get to the Batcave. And this is one of the crucial parts of the story. So Batman and Superman are talking. Batman and Wonder Woman are talking. I thought you said, I did say, but Cord Industries helped build the Hall of Justice. I just had him suffering Sappho, punches the penny. Crash. Batman's just looking down. You couldn't have helped with that? Superman's looking away. There's something else I have to tell you too. I'll go hide the dinosaur. Lois is, she's been getting videos of Sanctuary Confessions. She's doing an article on what Sanctuary is, how it works. She's not revealing names or keeping it anonymous for now. There are no Sanctuary videos. Sanctuary is secret. I made it secret. Every piece of data at the Sanctuary is immediately deleted, broken, scattered. That's why there's no records of the killer. Bruce, she has them. I've seen them. They're real. They're us. Flip the page. What? How long have you known? A few days. Days? I'm sorry. You corn-fed, don't you? How do you think it's a damn coincidence this happens after the murders? We need to investigate. We need to have already investigated this. So Superman saying, Lois shared this with me in confidence of our marriage, blah, 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 blah. Which, like, oh, come on. Great. Now I'm going to break the dinosaur. Clark, when is her story at Sanctuary coming? Well, yeah, that's the thing. That's why I decided to tell you now. She sent it 35 seconds ago, and you can see behind bat screens. Exclusive, the story. And here's what's showing on those screens. Superheroes recover secret sanctuary. What is Sanctuary? By Lois Lane. So, I'm not going to read that, but if you want to pause and read for yourself, just basically tells you what we already know. And then we get to this page. Harley and Girlbat, the dynamic duo. Whee! She's like, Like, shut up. Don't pretend you're too cool for school. Like, you invited this. And it's like, ding. And at first I was like, what the? Oop, the video size was too big. That means my video is too long. I'm going to wrap it up. So, it says, pling. And I was like, what the hell is that? So, holy, what? It's all out. Everyone knows Sanctuary. Everyone will. This will change. I don't know the world. So it's our earpiece going off. So this is a lettering mistake. It should have gone off like right here. Bling. But whatever. And Harley's like, huh? Okay, good. F the world. It needs changing. To be continued. And I'm just like, this is okay. So I was saying before why I was like derailing. It's important that Harley gets, some professional attention, right? And this might be important. But this is beyond that. This is now, apparently, Harley and Batgirl running around like they're that dynamic duo. Like, this is a cold-blooded murderer. This is the prime suspect of the death of Flash and Arsenal and other heroes I don't remember. Oh, but we'll just give hugs and forgives because I'm not a judging man like Batman. He doesn't know you like I do. What the literal... Okay, so I'm hoping there's something I don't understand going on, and the next issues correct this. I also have serious problems with this. Is this a Bendis Superman? Like, did Tom King collaborate with Bendis? This would not... Oh my God. I'm sorry. Yes, I know Superman is married to Lois Lane. And I know marriage, some things are, sacred and so forth. First of all, I don't care what sort of reporting ethics you have. Those ethics don't come before your marriage. And if Clark is going to hold his marriage above certain ethics, if there's any ethics he's not going to hold above his marriage, that would be the identities and secrets and all this knowledge of all the heroes, including himself. That would also, by the way, put his wife in danger, because if every supervillain who can't get to the god that is Superman discovers, oh, Superman's married to Lois Lane, we can't get you, hey, we're going to murder your wife. How are you going to feel about that? This would not happen. This is dumb. Oh, she sent it. Now did she send it 35 seconds ago? I'm going to tell you guys. BS. If you're going to violate some sort of journalistic ethics, this is the time. However, I don't think you would even need to do that. I think it would come to the point where Clark would explain to his wife, who should know better, that she married Superman, like, hey, honey, don't put me in this position. Yes, I'm Clark Kent and I'm a reporter and I understand these things, but I'm Superman and I'm here to save the world. And I'm going to put aside this little journalistic thing right here to save the world from you. However, don't make me do that. Just you make the decision knowing this. Like, not everything has to be reported. Okay? There's a reason why these things are secret. Journalists don't go hunting through medical records of people to expose their... It's just totally unnecessary. And it violates Superman, I believe. I have a real problem with this. I have to say I've slept through this a couple times. And I didn't do this in my last review. And I want to just commend DC for this nice, respectful thing that they've done on their last page. Good on you guys. So, Heroes in Crisis. That's my review. It's not a terrible book. It's not something I want to rip up. Like I said, Tom King's writing is very easy to read. Clay Mann's art is beautiful. There is something going on here. I don't hate this book, but this is a fall off. I can feel like the train's derailing. And whether it actually does or not, we'll have to wait and see. I will keep reviewing. I'm going to keep buying this book. I do like this. I said it before. Because it's a miniseries, seemingly separate from the... I know it's part of the continuity, but you cannot read this and it doesn't affect your reading. You don't go into, like, Batman and you're like, oh, he's going through a crisis right now. That's not happening. So this is not stepping on the toes of the main line of comics. So you can read it or ignore it at your leisure. And that's why I'm okay with it. So this is like, I do want to explore the story. I know a lot of people don't, so I'm going to take a ride. And I approve of that. So let me know what you think about this book. I know this is a really long review. I'm going to cut it short here. As far as I was going to kind of go into more about what the SJWs were just going off. But you can read this article at Bounding Into Comics. Also, my girl Tristan, who does Nerdette's Newsstand. I think she should change it to Nerdette's Nerd Shack. But she was kind of the one that got me fired up on this too. She did a video about this, and she makes really good points. So I'll just point you to her to make my points for me. And yeah, just do me a favor. Hopefully I don't lose you as a fan, because her channel's a little better than mine. So, thanks for watching, and keep coming back, share the love, talk about comics, and I'll see you next time. Bye.